Hi, I'm Lonna Kelly, and this is Hudson Valley Art Speak. Thanks for joining us today. Today we're going to be speaking to Justin Goodhart, photographer, and Justin has recently, I guess last year you started this new project on the Appalachian Trail.
Yes. Just last summer, last July, started a project of photographing hikers as they come across the Appalachian Trail in Pauling.
Yeah, what a great idea. How did this get started?
Yeah, so it's an interesting idea for sure. My friend Jane Haslam and I do it together, also a local photographer, and she has a gallery and a photography studio on Charles Coleman in Pauling. And both of her and I were talking with Stancy from the Appalachian Trail community in Pauling, and they do a big Trail Magic Day for the hikers every July. And she asked both of us independently, not knowing that we knew each other even, to come, if we would come and photograph and do some things with the hikers that day. It's like a one-day event.
Right.
Then we talked to each other, and we were really excited about it and decided to kind of make it more of a project, an ongoing project from there.
So it just kind of grew from there.
Yeah. We kind of we were both asked to do it individually, separately.
Yeah.
Not knowing, Stancy didn't know that we knew each other. Jane and I were talking about this, and we got really kind of excited and thought we'd run with it from there. So.
Yeah, so there's a few places where the trail passes through Pauling. Where do you go to take the photos?
Yeah, so there's I've mostly photographed at 3 different places where it comes through. The Appalachian Trail Boardwalk is where we started, and that's a big part of it. Right near where it comes by Native Landscapes and the Metro North Station.
Right.
A lot of hikers come through there. A lot of hikers do actually take the train down to the city to get resupplied, or take a few days off the trail, come back there.
Yeah.
So you catch a lot of hikers through that area there. Where the Dover Oak is on West Dover Road, it's just a really nice little spot. It's nice to talk to the hikers about this huge tree. A lot of them know about the tree.
Yeah, oh really?
Yeah, it's one of the largest or oldest oak tree on the Appalachian Trail, so it's in a lot of the guides, so a lot of people are excited when they first see it because they've been hearing about it for months. And then also there's a shelter not far from the Dover Oak called the Telephone Pioneer Shelter, lean-to. So those are kind of the 3 main places.
Yeah, I was just thinking while we were sitting here, it also goes through Nuclear Lake. Have you ever been out there?
I have been to Nuclear Lake, but not as part of this project. Jane did go out to Nuclear Lake a couple times. So. I haven't been out that way in a while. Probably this summer I'd like to get out there.
Yeah. So tell me how it goes. How do you approach, somebody who's hiking?
Yeah. So and that was something we had to really kind of talk about. How do we do this and make people feel comfortable?
Yeah.
Not weird people out. That there's a couple of people with big cameras staying on the side of the road asking to take their picture. So the one easy way is you start with food and drinks.
Yeah.
So these people are hiking and they're carrying everything. So that they always need calories, and they always want something to eat, and they especially always want a cold drink. Yeah. Because everything they have is whatever the air temperature is. So we generally have a cooler with some juices and sodas and waters and whatever, a few granola bars, bananas, whatever it is. So actually that's how we actually start a lot of it. With, hey, would you like a drink? Would you like a banana?
Yeah.
So and then usually just have a conversation with the people and kind of just talk to them and introduce ourselves and usually work into the photography part. Yeah. And then kind of explain what we're doing and see if they're interested or not.
Yeah. What is the likelihood? Do you find most people say yes?
Most people do say yes. There's been a handful of people who said no to photographs. Yeah. We do also let people know that if we take their photograph, if they want, we're going to take a photograph for them. Yeah. And we'll email them the file, and so there's to have as a memento from the trail. And if they don't want us to share that photograph with anybody, we won't. If they're okay with us sharing it, on our Instagram or our Facebook or in print, then we will. So we also give people that option. Yeah. Because some people have said, the picture would be great, but I don't want it out there.
Yeah, that's a really nice thing to do, though, to share it with them.
Yeah, so that's really kind of how it started, especially around the fact that it started on Trail Magic Day. There's a whole culture kind of on the trail of trail magic of people doing things for the hikers. Yeah. Providing a service to the hikers free of charge. Right. A lot of it is around food and drinks. Right, yeah. Some of it's a shower or a place to camp or whatever it might be, or a ride to town to pick up supplies. So ours, what Jane and I do is a photograph. Yeah. So that way they can get a nice professional portrait as a memory of being on the trail.
Great idea. Yeah. So you had said some of the people stood out. You mentioned pebbles.
Yeah, so Pebbles is one of the guys that I met at the Dover Oak. Very interesting young guy, recently graduated from high school, recent Eagle Scout.
Wow.
Getting ready to go off to college and took his summer to hike the trail. He was, of all the people I met, he did it the fastest of
Let me
anybody I
just
met.
ask you a question. He was solo?
Yes, he was a solo hiker.
Yeah.
Most people tend to be solo. There's some couples.
Oh, really?
People get into groups, kind of. They meet people along the trail that are kind of at the same pace. They'll hike together for a period of time, some for a couple days, some for weeks, some for months. But he was a solo hiker. He was going very fast. Not too many people would keep up with him.
Yeah.
He completed the 2,100 miles in just under 90 days.
Wow.
So it's about 25 miles a day.
That's a lot. That's
Yeah.
it's a marathon,
marathon
every day.
every single day for 3 months.
Yeah, and going up and down and over rocks
Yeah,
and cliffs
not just
and
going
everything.
down the road.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
yeah, so
Wow.
that's
impressive.
Yeah.
So some of the excuse me, couples you mentioned.
Yeah.
You said a couple met on the trail and did they get engaged? Or?
So there was one couple that I photographed. One of the first couples I photographed actually on one of the pictures that's behind us here, Bloodroot and Gump. They started the hike as a couple. They were boyfriend and girlfriend. I've kept in touch with a lot of people, especially through social media, which is great.
Yeah.
Instagram and Facebook and whatever, and they actually just got engaged to be married recently. So
Nice.
it was kind of nice to see that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So the Pioneer Shelter.
Yes.
Was that the telephone company Pioneers built that shelter years ago?
I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't. That's my understanding.
Yeah.
I don't know that much about the name.
Yeah.
But it's a cool little lean-to shelter
Yeah.
for the hikers.
Yeah, and the photo that you took there was a guy's weekend. And just tell me a little bit, or tell our audience a little bit about how some people are through hikers and some people have a different way of approaching it.
Yeah, so we meet various kinds of people that are hiking the trail. So the most of the portraits that we took were of through hikers, so people that are hiking the entire trail, which goes from Springer Mountain in Georgia and ends at Mount Katahdin in Maine, or the other way. So most people go from south to north. Some people do go north to south. Some people will do the full length of the trail in 2 separate kind of hikes called a flip-flop if they do it in the same year.
Yeah.
So that because they may be worried about when they can start in the spring, they can't start in Maine too early because it's still snowy. And then if they started in Georgia, they wouldn't have enough time because of their pace to make it to Maine before it snows again.
Yeah.
So some people will they'll go back and forth to make sure that they kind of do it all within 1 year.
Yeah.
But it's also a very common place for people to hike just for a distance hike, but not for the whole trail.
Right.
I myself have actually done it a few times with friends.
Have
either
you?
2 nights or 3 nights at a time.
Yeah.
And do and stay in the shelters and things like that. So.
Right.
So yeah, one of the photographs there is of a group of 4 guys kind of doing that same thing like I did with some friends, just getting away from it for 3 days and hiking from, I think they were coming from a place in Connecticut kind of through this kind of part of New York, and that's a similar section that I did with nice shelters about every 8 or 9 miles, so you have a place to camp, you don't have to bring a tent.
Yeah, you don't have to go a crazy far distance.
Yeah, it's not a super far distance to do.
Yeah.
The through hikers generally do more miles than that in a day.
Yeah.
So.
I heard New York is a tough part of the trail.
Yes, it can be.
Yeah.
For a few different reasons. One, there's a large sections where there's not a lot of places for camping.
Yeah.
Or shelters, especially when you go through the section from like Fondstock State Park through Bear Mountain. There's, I think that's 20-ish miles, and there's technically nowhere where you can really camp on the trail. So that's a tough section for a lot of people. The Bear Mountain section through Harriman State Park is a pretty tough section of climbing.
Yeah.
A lot of up and down. It was really hard for a lot of people last year because there was not a lot of water last year. The time of year that most people hit New York last year was in July. And if you remember, in July, it was very hot. And it was very humid, but not a lot of rain in July.
So that put you at quite an advantage, having the cooler with cold drinks.
A cooler with cold drinks was a welcome sight to a lot of people. Yeah.
So I'm looking at this sheet that and with names like Turtle and Catwoman and Pebbles and Ramble on Russ. So what's with the names?
Yeah, so those are trail names. And there's kind of a tradition on long trail hiking, whether it's the Appalachian Trail or the Pacific Crest Trail in the Western United States or the Continental Divide Trail, that people have a trail name instead of going by their their given name.
Yeah.
Trail names, some people pick their own trail names. Some people are given their trail names. Some people told me why they have that name. Some people don't tell you why they have that name.
Yeah.
But it's something that I tried to get from everybody. There are certain people that hike the trail, they want to be kind of anonymous, I think. So I did usually ask people for their trail name, but I wouldn't, and I would say, if you want to give me your real name, you can, but you don't have to.
Yeah.
But they're interesting. Some of them, like Catwoman, she has a tattoo of a cat on her arm.
Yeah.
So you kind of know where that one came from.
Yeah.
You know? One of the guys is Yodi. I have no idea why he went by Yodi.
Yeah.
So.
Now, since you've been there doing it for a year, by the end of the year or the end of the summer, did you find that people who were approaching knew about it already?
A little bit.
Yeah.
So there was only one couple, actually, Turtle and Catwoman. They actually made an appointment to have their portrait done. They'd found us through Instagram.
Yeah.
There was quite a few people though that I would show with them, our Instagram feed especially, and they would say, "Oh yeah, we've seen that." We got some re-shares through some big Appalachian Trail Instagram feeds, which helped too.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Now, you and Jane are going to be having a show of these photographs.
Yes, we are. So yeah, we have, it's called Hikers. It's going to be at Jane's gallery and studio on Charles Coleman Boulevard called Land in Pawling. And it opens on Saturday, April 13th. And it's from 5 to 7 p.m.
Yeah. Now, you did this last summer. Are you going back this summer?
We absolutely are.
Oh, good.
And we're planning on doing even more this year. We started a little late last year, actually.
Yeah. Any particular person that really stood out for you?
Oh, I mean,
I know you said Pebbles because he was so fast.
Yeah. There's a girl named Firecracker. And I think she got her name probably for a couple reasons. One, she's a redhead.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of it. And she also definitely had a very fiery personality.
She's a real firecracker.
She was a real firecracker. I think the pictures she's doing like this little peace sign thing.
Yes.
She had a lot of spunk to her. So she had very high energy. So yeah, I definitely remember her. So she was a fun person to talk to for a while. Yeah.
This seems to be like it would even be a good subject for a book at some point.
Yeah, I think it would be. So we've talked about it. It's a little bit different challenge with permissions.
Oh yeah, well that's true. That's true. But do you need that for? I mean, I know that people take pictures of random people all the time.
Yeah, I would want to, I guess.
Yeah.
Even if I don't necessarily legally have to.
Yeah.
I'd want people to be comfortable with it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. So how many of these portraits do you think you've taken so far?
We met about 60 hikers last year, I believe, between the two of us, thereabouts, maybe a little bit more.
Yeah.
So I think I met about 40 personally.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And so if you start early, you might have double that number.
Yeah, I think we could easily have double that number.
Yeah. When do people start hitting New York?
Depending on the speed, the person and when they started, probably end of June, beginning of July. We didn't start till mid-July, so we kind of missed probably about 4 weeks or so of where there'd be a good amount of people.
Yeah, and so will this just kind of take up the whole summer, or do you think you'll be doing nighttime photography still, or other work?
I'll definitely be doing that too. So it'll be a mixture.
Yeah.
So the nice thing with it is when it's big hiking season, when there's a lot of hikers around, you can just go to one of these spots in the afternoon for a couple hours, and you pretty much know you're going to see some people. So.
Well, I look forward to your show.
Great, thank you very much,
And
Lonna.
I look forward to seeing the new photographs too.
Can't wait to make them.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.